Hey, it's Midnight Snack, and I'm Frank, and I'm back. Glad you're here. It's another episode of Midnight Snack where I interview people in the community, friends, maybe people I'm just getting to know that I see as leaders, figures in the community that, I don't know, have been successful in some way, and I would just like for you to get to know them a little bit better. But I also want to know one thing. When they're up at night, solving the world's problems, what's their midnight snack? So we're going to get into another midnight snack, and we're going to talk to a friend of mine that I've known for about 18 years, David Smallwood.
Frank?
Yes.
My brother from another mother. It is great to be here with you.
It is super exciting to be there. And you know, we also share the same birthday.
We do share the same birthday. Not the same year. Let's get that clear.
Y'all get to decide who's older.
Look and see.
We share the same birthday. I've known David for 18 years. We've done some life together. You've got 3 boys. I have 4 boys. They played a lot of sports together, and our families just did life together for a number of years. So
we have done a lot of life together. We've had a lot of dance parties together, and we've had some good times.
Are we going to break out some dance moves on this?
This mic is restricting me a little bit, but we'll see.
We'll see. There's been some dance-offs, some competitions.
There has been some dance-offs, and I don't know if I can do the same in my 50s, but we'll see.
I think someone may be able to find a Harlem Shake video out there on the interwebs.
If you find that, can you send it to me? Because I've been looking for that actual video.
It is out there. It is out there. So it's Midnight Snack. Now, is there something that you crave when you're up at night and you just want to grab something to eat? Now, you be honest. I know you're looking at me.
I am going to be honest with you, Frank.
Okay.
And my wife is going to see this. Now, can I give a disclaimer?
Yeah.
This snack is not something I have often. So it's not something that when she's out of town that I sneak it, but there have been a few times that I have done so. But the thing that I want to get up at night and get is a Pop-Tart. A strawberry Pop-Tart.
Do you regularly have Pop-Tarts in your house?
I do not. I do not purchase Pop-Tarts. There's none hidden, no secret ones anywhere in the house. But when I want a midnight snack, I want a Pop-Tart.
That's what you want?
That's what I want.
Well, you and I did for you? You and I did for you today? What'd I do for you? Do you like strawberry Pop-Tarts? Is that what you said?
That is my favorite flavor of Pop-Tart.
Well, I'm going to hook you up. Look here. Now, here's the big question. I'm going to give you a pack of 2. Do you eat both when you eat strawberry Pop-Tarts?
Do I have to tell the truth on here?
You have to tell the truth.
I do eat both. But you know what? I'm not going to eat both now because I don't have a toaster. If you had brought a toaster and we could get these to a certain temperature, I'd eat this whole box.
Now,
but I didn't have you bring a toaster because I don't want to mess up on this show. I just need to eat one.
Well, see, we should have had a toaster. Let's get into some Pop-Tarts.
Let's get into it.
Strawberry Pop-Tarts. Now, I find it funny, like people will say, you know, I eat 2, but I kind of want a third, but there's no use in having 1 left in the bag, so I eat 4.
Yeah, I like the way you think. I like that math. I like the way that math is mathing.
I don't want to leave 1. Like, I eat 2. I need 1 more, but you can have 1 left in the box.
You don't want to, and you don't want to leave an orphan. Who wants an orphan Pop-Tart sitting in the box?
You got to eat 4. I do like a Pop-Tart. Now, I usually go with cinnamon.
Okay. I like cinnamon too.
All right. We're getting into the snack.
It's been a long time. That's good.
All right. Tell me more about, while you're trying to chew, what you do for a living, how long you've been doing it, and also maybe what brought you to Nashville. How long you been in Nashville?
Yeah, so for a living, I'm a wealth management advisor, so financial advisor. I would say, in a nutshell, what I do is help people be on the road to financial security. When I connect with folks, I'm really trying to figure out how to help them have a plan in place that's going to make sure they run out of time before they run out of money. That's baseline what I work on every single day in and day out, with executives, with business owners, folks in the community who are just trying to make sure they're on the pathway to financial security. Those are the conversations I'm having day in and day out. I've been doing that I'm in the year 11 of doing that.
Okay.
I have been in Nashville for 18 years. And so I was born and raised in Denver, went to UCLA for college, lived in Los Angeles for 17 years, and then moved here with my family 18 years ago in 2007.
And that's how we met.
And that's how we met.
You moved in the community, your sons were playing football, my son was playing football, and we met on the football field.
We did meet on the football field, and when we met on the football field, the distinct thing that I remember the first time that I met you, that your youngest son, Baylor, was a toddler, and I thought Don Cox was his mom because Don Cox was carrying Baylor around, and I said, that must be her newborn son, and then I found out that was a Reigns.
That's right. That was the fourth. Well, when you talk about wealth management, what you said, you want people to run out of money before they run out of run out of time before they run out of money.
That's right.
I love that. That might be one of the slogans of this episode. Run out of money before you run out of time.
Nope,
No?
run out of time. I'm a bad advisor if people are running out of money before they run out of time. I want them to run out of time before they run out of money, because if they run out of time before they run out of money, they've achieved all their goals in their lives, and they've likely left some sort of legacy to leave to the coming generations as well.
I love that. Now, what you do is similar a little bit in nature into what I do. I help IT leaders, CIOs, VPs of IT, CFOs in some cases, navigate technology solutions. I want to help them find the solution that meets their requirements. Similar to you trying to find financial solutions. The question I have for you is, as you're letting your clients know how much you want to help them, is there a fine line that you find between, honestly, the right word, you want to help them, but you don't want them to be sold anything. So how do you navigate not selling and building that trust?
That's a great question. The easiest way to navigate that is the fact that we put together a financial plan. And so a financial plan is simple math. That if I sit down with you and I ask you where you stand right now from a balance sheet perspective, where you want to be when you get to retirement, and how long you want that money to last, that's just simple math. So if I tell you a certain amount that you need to be saving in order to reach that goal, you're not competing with me to try to sell you something. I'm showing you the math of what it's going to take to achieve your goals. Now, are there solutions and products that will help you to do that? Yes, there are, but I'm not going to force you to do that. I'm just going to show you the math of what it's going to take to reach those goals, and then you can determine whether or not you want to execute upon that math.
So the number's not going to lie.
The numbers are not going to lie. So we're not competing against each other or me trying to sell you something. We're going back to the plan. And so if someone says to me, hey, I don't think I need to save that much, I'll say, well, hey, what do you want to cut out in retirement that you won't be able to do if you don't save that much? And I let them choose. And if they say, I don't want to cut anything out, then I say, well, hey, you're going to have to work 3 to 5 more years if you want to achieve these same goals. So it comes back to them instead of me trying to force something upon them.
That is so good, and it's making me a little uncomfortable, be honest with you. I'm like, I need to be working with, am I going to have enough time or money? So that's great advice. Now, there's something I mentioned I was going to talk to you about this. You, just you speaking just then and how you communicated that is so powerful to me. You've just got a really good skill and talent to communicate like that. And I see a different gear in David Smallwood. I don't ever think of David Smallwood as being, man, I don't know about that. Or, man, I'm just a little tired and stressed out. I don't see you. How do you do that? How do you keep in that gear that I've just seen you strive and thrive and some people might be the word grind, but what is that inside of you that keeps you in that mode? I would say 90% of the time. Who doesn't see that gear in you?
So I would just say that the gear comes naturally simply because I felt like, 25, 30 years ago, having a constitution of faith, I felt like God told me that what he wanted me to do was be a dream maker. And what being a dream maker means is that if you help other people's dreams come true, everything in my own life will automatically happen. And it will unfold. And so why I'm in that gear all the time is because I'm constantly thinking about how do I help other people's dreams come true, and by proxy of doing that, everything I've ever wanted is accomplished. So it's not like I have to switch in and out of it, because I'm always trying to say, how can I be others focused and help other people accomplish their goals? And by doing that, everything I want ends up coming to fruition.
That's just powerful. I appreciate you sharing that, because, and I had a little different question in mind, but I'm going to ask this one now. You sent me a book, and I was going to ask you the question about what authors, speakers, whether they be motivational or coaches, do you listen to that you would pass on to someone else, or not necessarily, well-known names, but some that are specific to kind of that you have found fulfillment. And you did that for me. You sent me a book called The Go-Giver, which I'm sure people watching this might be familiar with that book. I mean, there's a lot of energy around that book, but it's in line with what you just shared. The mindset of giving and just preparing to receive, but not a mindset of receiving, but a mindset of just giving. Are there other books and authors, speakers like that you would recommend to someone starting out, or recommend to someone in, the later parts of their career?
Yeah, so The Go-Giver is a great one. There's variations of that book now. The Go-Giver for Leaders, which is awesome for people who lead teams. One of my favorite authors of all time is John Maxwell. And John Maxwell has written, 30, 40 books, maybe even more. I mean, just dozens of books. But one of my favorite books by John Maxwell is called The 5 Levels of Leadership. And the 5 levels of leadership starts out as you may be a leader where someone gives you a title, and you get a title and you're leading just because you have a title. That doesn't mean people are going to follow you. Well, the 5th level of leadership, level 5, is a pinnacle level leader that says not just people are following you because you have a title, but they're following you because you have demonstrated what leadership is, but then you've also infected them with leadership, and you're helping them get to where they need to go on their leadership journey. So 5 levels of leadership by John Maxwell is an incredible book.
I appreciate that. I heard someone say once, when I'm talking to a manager, I get the sense that they're important. But when I'm talking to a leader, I get the sense that I'm important.
Well said.
Isn't that cool? Are you going to have some more Pop-Tart?
Oh, I will. Yeah. It's been calling my name, but I didn't want to disrupt the flow. So.
I'm over here choking this one down. But let me... So because of, if you're watching this, you kind of get the spirit of who David Smallwood is. And the Nashville Business Journal, sometime in the last several months, I saw a thing, maybe it was in the last year, I saw a thing in the Business Journal that said they were having Leaders in Diversity Awards. Mm-hmm. And because I do watch some of the things that you post, I see some of the things on social media, I've glimpsed some of your keynotes that you've done, or some speaking that you've done for some of your financial advisors. It's some powerful things. I want you to share, I didn't ask you about this, but I want you to share a little bit about that. But the reason I bring it up is because I thought I need to nominate David Smallwood for that. And I let you know about it, and you said, yeah, I won that last year. I was like, well, I was a little late to the game. Other people probably already thought about it. But you've got a real passion for that. Mm-hmm. And you're doing some things in your business that is very intentional. Mm-hmm. And I've seen you share a little bit about generations that you come from. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I'm talking about? Because I didn't tee you up for this.
Yeah, I do. I do.
Okay, can you share a little bit about that, as if you would, some of the stuff that I've seen you talk about as far as generations and grandparents and all of that?
Yeah, so it really just centers around, we're obviously in a time where certain, words like diversity, equity, and inclusion are, can be 4-letter words. But I don't think that necessarily has to be the case, because diversity, equity, inclusion is not about saying, hey, you're not qualified, so let me give you a leg up and give you a seat at the table. It's about just giving people the opportunity to even earn a seat at the table. So when I think about that, I'm thinking about the fact that every opportunity is connected to a person. So I'm wanting to be in front of as many people as possible to give them opportunities. Now, do they have to be qualified to take part in the opportunity? Absolutely. But I'm not just going to one segment or one demographic. I'm going to everybody because I believe better together. And when you have diversity of thought, diversity of cultures, people coming from different socioeconomic backgrounds, that's how you create a great company, because you've got people thinking about things from a 360-degree view, not just one silo or echo chamber of where they've been raised or what their political affiliation is or where they go to dinner or who they hang out with. It's about a wide spectrum of thought, which is what it takes to make a great company.
Well, and you, in some of the things that I've seen, you reference the diversity in your company and how you're impacting change in that. Mm-hmm. Can you give me some examples of that?
Well, part of it is just really around, there's a couple things. One is that in what I do, wealth management, there is that demographic. There's a certain profile of folks who have been wealth managers. Well, that's not what the world looks like. And sometimes when folks sit down to talk about what is one of the hardest conversations to have, the most intimate conversations that they have, which is about their money and their finances and how they view money, they want to talk to somebody who looks like them, or they may want to talk to somebody who at least has experiences that are relatable to their own. When I'm talking about when I'm sitting down with folks who look like me, they may be the first or second generation of folks who went to college, who were even able to buy a house where they wanted to buy a house or live in the neighborhood where they wanted to live. And so they may want to talk to somebody who can relate to that. And so I'm looking for a wide spectrum of people, not to just bring in to say, I want to give you a seat at the table, but just so as we go out into the community, there's a representation of who they want to look at in the mirror and say, I want to be like that. I want to be on that same pathway, but I want to do it with somebody who can understand and can have empathy with my experiences.
I love that. So your business recently opened a new location. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
So we just opened an office in Mount Juliet. So I'm the managing director of the office downtown, and there was an opportunity to expand, and Wilson County was one of the areas to be able to expand. We opened an office in Mount Juliet, but we opened that office for a couple of reasons. One, because we don't have any representation with Northwestern for wealth management in that community, but also because one of my advisors serves the diverse abilities or special needs community, so folks with special needs. And so we opened that office with a real desire to say, hey, can we create a hub that can be really a national hub for helping special needs families with financial planning? Because outside of just folks needing just normal planning, financial planning, when you have a special needs child or family member enter into that equation, there's a whole array of other issues and challenges that they deal with, and a lot of it revolves around money and care. And so we have that office as really what's going to be a national hub for helping families with special needs. Now, that's not all we're doing. We're helping business owners, executives, professionals out there as well. But it's really around how can we help some of those that sometimes are overlooked and marginalized. We want to really dig in and be a part of those people's lives.
That's exciting. So because Midnite Snack, I lean a little bit in my conversations to technology. Mm-hmm. And that's why I intentionally spelled Midnite with an IT and not IGHT, because sometimes it might just be IT that we talk about.
That's right.
So in your career, well, in just personally and potentially in your career, in your business, are you using AI? And if so, how, either personally or in your business? And what concerns or benefits do you see around AI?
So the answer is yes, we are using AI. So even our company, Northwestern Mutual, has started to implement AI into our searches. So when we go on even our internally and we do a search for things, before it might have been jumbled, where you may get you do a query and who knows what you're going to get back. It may be 5 degrees separated from what you're really looking for. Well, now with AI, it's pinpointing exactly what we need to get to. So if you ask me about something, let's say you're asking me about estate planning taxes. Well, before, if I went in and I did an inquiry about that, I may get back 10 articles that just kind of touch around it but don't get to it. Now, with AI being implemented, it targets exactly what you're looking for. And so we're using it across the board. I mean, to be able to do, so when we do Zoom meetings now, we're able to just get a summary of the meeting via AI, and it just summarizes everything nicely. So it's implemented into our business. Now, how do I think about it for the future? I think AI is going to be incredible. I think it's going to transform society over the course next 5 to 10 years. But I also think that with what we do, I'm not necessarily threatened by it, because with what we do, there's a necessity for a human connection. Because when I shared before that a financial plan is about math, it is about math. But when something happens in life, somebody passes away, and you're sitting across from a table and you're talking to a wife or a husband who's lost their spouse, and you're trying to figure out what's the pathway ahead, AI is not going to be able to solve for that.
Right.
It takes a human connection to walk people through the journey of the ups and downs. And so that's why I'm not concerned about it, but I do think it's an opportunity. I do think we need to know about it, we need to learn it, and we need to understand it, but it's not a threat. It's going to be a value add to what we do.
Yeah, I think the human connection is going to be paramount. It's going to be, I think, there's going to be a spotlight on it. The more AI there is, the more there's going to be craving human connection.
Agreed.
I saw an article not too long ago about an IT leader here in Nashville that's that's part of an organization that does architecture and design. And they were using a lot of IA for AI. Well, IA, that's a whole different thing. We open it up IA now.
Let's get it.
They were using AI for architectural and design, but they realized that human feeling in the space, AI can't do that.
That's right.
Like as they design a room or a building, they got to know what the human element is in that space, because AI is not going to capture that.
That's right.
So I'm gonna lead into my last question. And I think this is kind of a fun question. I asked it on another episode. If there's someone, it could be alive or dead, it could be fictional, it could be real, that you would want to trade places with for a week. Well, trade places with, I'm just giving it a week, but to experience whatever that may be, whether it be knowledge or a part of history or whatever it may be, who would that be for you?
I'm gonna give you an answer that's gonna come out of left field for you. You are not.
I can't wait.
You're gonna say I couldn't have been if you had to bet your life on it, you wouldn't have guessed.
Now is this something I'm gonna be able to talk about in the future? Like, remember that time you said?
You maybe so. We'll see. So, just last week, I just watched a documentary on the life of Billy Joel. And he is one of the most incredible and prolific songwriters and musicians that I have ever encountered. And I didn't realize I've listened to him for four plus decades. But in watching that documentary, and when I saw your question, I said, man, if I could have a week as Billy Joel in his head of what it took for him to create some of those songs that just tell the American story, the American struggle, relationships, the ups and downs of them.
Where did you see the documentary?
HBO, or one of the streaming services. It's
well, I had to cut out my financial planning. Doesn't include all those streaming services. So
you could probably just pick up your phone and watch it on YouTube. You might have to watch 20 minutes of commercials, but you could get to it.
I love that answer. Did it take the longest time to answer that question? Or did you see him as an innocent man? Or was there a lot of glass houses involved? You see what I did?
I see what you're doing there. And I love all those. And that's the reason
why I did marry an uptown girl.
I did.
I'll tell you that
marry
right
an uptown girl. I did.
Well, I love that answer. I can't wait to talk more. I'm a big Billy Joel fan. I don't know if you knew that.
I did not know that. If you haven't seen this documentary, you got to watch it.
Well, I know I'm going to have to.
You got to get that.
People used to tell me.
Have your wife just get that streaming service for you. You know what? just create an alias and do a 3-month free trial and and watch it, and then just disconnect from that service.
So
then, as your financial planner, I'm not wanting you to
Okay.
take on any new monthly expenses. So I just want you to just make up a name and do a free trial and watch that documentary.
People said at one point that I sounded like Billy Joel when I sang. Do you know the song "And So It Goes"? Mm-hmm. That's a good song.
That is a good song.
It
He's got
wasn't-
a lot of good songs.
Well, song. All right. So as I want to ask you a question as we wrap up about this Pop-Tart.
Okay.
You got to have your Pop-Tart for me to ask it. You need to take a bite of it. No,
Is my wife gonna see this?
probably.
Okay.
No.
Oh no.
When you took a bite of that Pop-Tart, did it take it to a how?
Never let by. Yes, it did. We on a whole. Never let by.
David, I've loved talking to you.
I love being here.
It could go on forever and ever. People are going to say, we need more David Smallwood. So
Then if you invite me back, I'm coming back.
I'm back. Thank you all for watching Midnight Snack. I'm going to have a lot of information about David Smallwood, what he does, how you can get a hold of him, Northwestern Mutual. I'm going to have some more information about TMG, who is sponsoring this episode today. We appreciate that. Thanks for watching, and spread the word. Spread the word. We'll see you next time. And enjoy your Pop-Tart.
Good to be here with you.